So for this episode of Let's Talk Jinx, it's going to be a bit odd, because usually we do a patch, kind of a video every 2 weeks. Patch 10.17 technically does exist, but it also wasn't supposed to exist, so there's not even really patch notes that are out yet. Anyways, though, there was a tweet, though, by Mark Yetter, or maybe it's pronounced Yeter, and it might be a different pronunciation, I apologize. But the point is, they do have general buffs and nerfs for the patch, and even though this is Jinx-centric, one of the things is, even though there's no changes to Jinx, there's a Caitlyn change that I wanted to bring up a little bit, which is their movement speed's going back down from 330 to 325, and that's something I just wanted to bring up because we've talked about in the past the fact that Jinx was slowly indirectly being nerfed from the fact that every other AD carry was getting move speed and she wasn't, which was kind of weird. Basically she was becoming the slowest AD carry, and even though it wasn't like a direct nerf to her, they didn't make her movement speed lower, she already was one of the more immobile AD carries. That was one of her built-in weaknesses because of all the high damage and range that she can have. So you had other AD carries like Kog'Maw, we've talked about him a little bit, and then Caitlyn more recently, getting these increases in movement speed, and slowly like everyone was kind of just getting faster and she wasn't. Of course, Jinx has the movement speed burst on her passive if she's being successful, but if the game's not going successfully, as in you're not destroying objectives or you're not killing enemies, you're never going to access that movement speed. It is gated behind a win condition of some sort. So that being said, we wanted to briefly look at that. For example, there are some other changes that might affect like maybe the AD carry role or even Jinx's matchups with certain AD carries. Like we do see Varus being buffed where his attack speed per level is going from 3 to almost 4%, and that's kind of big if you don't play a lot of Varus as passive. When he last hits a minion or a champion, he gets increased attack speed. So it's why if you're about to trade with Varus, you always want to set the minion wave up that they're all low health, so you can hit one of the minions and then start trading with the enemy because you'll get increased amount of arrows because your attack speed will go up. And because the other minions are also low nearby, if for some reason, you know, the attack speed wears off, you can just last hit another minion and keep it going. So, and if the battle's going on that long, especially in the lane phase, like it's a Dragon Ball Z length battle, there's something else completely wrong with that situation anyways, and as such, yeah, you got Xayah changes, which the AD per level is going up from 2.9 to 3.5. Even if we round the first one up to 3 to 3.5, right? Just in that means 2, and 2 levels then, that means she's going from, say, 3 to 6 to suddenly 3.5 to 7, which is only 1 in that instance, but that adds up over time. So her damage will go up over time. Even the lane phase, if it drags out over time, that'll be something to worry about if you're playing as Jinx. Kai'Sa, meanwhile, the AD per level is going from 1.7 to a flat 2. Maybe that might just be rounding that number even more so than just increasing. But the E attack speed is going from 40 to 60 through the ranks, so the 5 ranks you can put it on, to 40 to 80%. So you have 80% extra attack speed. If you're going against Kai'Sa in the bottom lane, it's most likely AD Kai'Sa, not AP Kai'Sa, so that will be relevant. Keep that in mind. And on the nerf side, we did mention Caitlyn. Sona's getting some nerfs too. Sona and Lux have been powerful together. That's what Riot initially thought, but it turns out they're also pretty powerful by themselves. So they're both getting some nerfs that could affect like the support role. If you've seen a lot of these, you're playing against them, they might fall off because people might be like, oh, it's nerfed, this bad, never mind. But if you're playing with them and people are still picking them, just keep that in mind as well. Not a huge patch. Again, the patch notes aren't even out if they're doing patch notes, because originally this patch wasn't going to quote-unquote exist because Riot was taking a vacation for this time. The vacation is now over officially, and they're probably going to have the patch notes like written up and all that stuff as usual to go, but they're still kind of technically doing something. Like patch 10.17 is going to technically exist, just not in the traditional sense. So that's why I'm going to end this video, because that's kind of all we have right now, and it's something to talk about with Jinx, for example. Is that going to help with that matchup perhaps, because like AD carries around her aren't just getting faster? Do you think the flip side? You think no, AD carries can get faster, but at least put Jinx's faster too, get her up from 325 to 330 as well, and stuff like that. What is your opinions? Comment, of course, in the comment section down below. But thank you so much for watching this video. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification, because it's the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching.